Hello, creative Tartanites. Welcome, welcome. How are you all today? Let's have a look and see. Okay, we're just hanging out and waiting for people to come and say hello. So today I am doing pan pastels. So you can see down here I have, hi Nikki, hi there. You can see I have a selection of different pan pastels. Now, hi Laura, hello, welcome. I don't have, in fact, I'm just wondering, how is the sound today? Because I am actually using a different mic. And I'm just hoping that it's picking me up. Hello, Madonna. Hi. Right. Okay. So everybody can hear me okay? The sound is fine. Fantastic. Yep. Excellent. Woohoo! So I'm using a different microphone today. I'm not using the microphone that is on the camera. I'm using my Snowball Blue microphone. So hopefully, once I actually then move the camera, you'll still be able to hear me when I'm turning around. So today it's pan pastels. I may use some soft pastels as well. I may also use some of my pastel pencils. So I have, let me see if I can, whoa, dropping everything. I'll pick out a few of my pastel pencils here. I have more, but I've also got other pencils in this pencil case. So I have some pastel pencils. These particular ones are Faber-Castell. They're Pit Pastel. Okay, and sorry for all you Americans, pastels. But here in the UK, we call them pastels. So I've got my pencils. I have my pan pastels here. So they're like they're very like a makeup. So it looks like a giant makeup eyeshadow container. That's what pan pastels are. So who have we got now? We've got Nikki, Laura, Madonna, Gail. Hi, Gail. I seem to be missing my moderator today. I hope she's okay. She's maybe lost track of the time. Right, so that's the pan pastels, that's the pencils. The paper I'm using today, whoops, oh, sorry, I'm butterfingers. The paper I am using today is this. It is by Dalla Rowney and it's just pastel paper. I have, this particular book is different colours of paper, and I have got a kind of a grey colour. I've picked this colour. So that's the paper, the pastels, the tools that I'm going to be using. These are soft tools, SOFFT. Oh, got my hair in there. And these I will be putting on the little spongy things onto them, and I'll let you see that as I'm doing it. Pardon me. Oh, excuse me. I have a little bit, it's a very small amount of water, but I've certainly got water. So if at any time you're not able to hear me, just give me a shout on the, put it in capital letters, that I'm usually more likely to see the, see the message that way, and we'll take it from there. Jacqueline, hello Tanya and friends, how are you? Happy to be here for a moment. Have to leave soon, vacation, but didn't want to miss. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your vacation. I hope you have a fabulous time. I hope it's somewhere really nice that you're going to. Right, so that's that settled. So now I'm going to pop my hand over the camera as always, and I'm going to put the camera onto facing onto the project today. So bear with me. Okay, right, so we're a bit down, so we need to bring that up a fair bit and maybe bring it back a little bit. And oh no, that's the wrong way. There. Now, see, ideally, it probably should be better off here for you to see. However, I'm right-handed, so I much prefer to have my reference to the left-hand side of me rather than the right-hand side. So that's a bit of a nuisance, I have to say. Is everybody seeing that okay? Maybe I should bring it up just a little bit. There we go. That's maybe better. How's that? Oops. So I'm just taking the poppy thing off because it's actually, now that I'm moving the mic, it's actually getting in the way. Because the mic really needs to be much closer than it actually currently is. Right. Okay, so there. Now, are you still able to hear me if I'm here? Give me a shout out, let me know, because I think that's so. Laura can still see everything, and Nikki says that the sound is good. Fantastic. Right. Good. Because, as I said, I've not used the snowball, and usually the snowball doesn't pick up quite as far away as I am. So, yeah, it's good to know that I can be heard. Because I could actually put it attached to the other desk, because at the moment it's at the side of me, so I could attach it to the front desk, so it's kind of sort of here in front of me, but that would create a lot of faffing about. Now, full disclosure, I have to say that I am expecting a package today, and I had hoped it would be here by now. However, it hasn't arrived. So if the door goes, if you guys don't mind, I am going to run down and get the package from the delivery person. And then I will be right back up. But hopefully it'll be fine. Okay, so Jacqueline is saying, what a beautiful face. Yes, sound is good here. Fantastic. Right. Just to save time, because you guys have all seen me drawing. You've all seen well, maybe you haven't. If you haven't, then please go and check out my How to Draw from a Photograph live session that shows you exactly, well, it shows you one way of being able to actually draw from a reference photo. So I've just saved some time, and I've just done a quick drawing and transferred it onto this paper. So I've only got it attached with a clip rather than the tape because it's pan pastels, it's very dry. I don't need to do anything. So the other thing that I've got that I didn't show you earlier on are these little stumps, these paper stumps. I may use these if I need to get a little bit of fine detail. We'll see. These are the sort of tops that go onto the soft tools. Now, as I said, that's SOFFT. That's what they look like. This is one of them, and that's this particular one here. So I'm just going to sneak this. Sometimes it takes a little bit of persuasion to actually go on properly. So that's that. That's it on. So it's a bit like a palette knife, really, just a little one. We've got this shape here as well, so that'll be this one. And again, I'm just giving it a little bit of persuasion to slip on. So that's that. This is kind of like your filbert shapes. This is a rounded one. Any questions so far? So just slipping that one on there. And then this one is a little bit more pointed, but round, if that makes sense. It's kind of really just pointed at the top rather than it being a triangle shape. It's more rounded with a point. So a bit like having your different types of brushes, the different types of tools will help you to get the different areas. So let me run through some of the colours that I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. I've got 12 different pan pastels. So I have orange extra dark, which looks like a really good brown. So I can use that for face colours. I have burnt sienna extra dark. So again, that's a really good one for facial colours. I've got a green shade. I have an ultra blue, I'll put my teeth back in, ultra blue extra dark. I have this really cool bronze one. Don't know if I'm going to use that or not. I've got a yellow, so that's a Hansa yellow. I have a neutral grey shade. So that's this one. So again, that's quite good in facial colours. This one I use quite a lot in facial colours, and this is the magenta shade. So this is a kind of sort of pinky. This is the lightest one that I have. This is, let me put the lid back on before I tip it, otherwise I'll get dust everywhere. This is a Payne's Grey tint, and it's a really light one. The other lightning one that I use is the Hansa yellow tint. So that's the lighter. So we've got this yellow and we've got this yellow. And this is the yellow that I tend to use for lightning areas. So the last two, this one I tend to use to darken things, and this is Violet Extra Dark. Jacqueline says, has to leave you now. Wish you all a fantastic day and a weekend. Big art hugs. So big art hugs to yourself, Jacqueline. Oh, here's Mona. Tanya, I'm so sorry. I have a good reason for it, though. I just sang a duet with you. Oh, with me! Oh, fantastic! Yay! Brilliant, fantastic. So this is the really dark shade. I've actually been I've been practicing Let It Go. And the very first one that I sang, it was okay. It was so close. So I decided, "Oh, I'll do it again. I'll get it right this time." And every time after it, um, I just didn't get it right at all or whatsoever. And I really wished I had just saved the first one that I had done, even though there was bits in it that I was not 100% happy with. It was the best version that I had done for a long time, and so I was a bit annoyed with myself. But never mind. Right. Um, I'm also going to quickly put on my pinny because pan pastels are a bit dusty, and I am wearing a white top. So you know what they say about white tops, they attract everything. Right, there we are. That's us. Now, what I think I'll do is I'll pop out away some of the colours that I won't be using, and I'll put the colours that I am going to be using close to me. Right, so these are the colours I've picked out. This one, this one, this one, these, oh, these, and this one. So, how is everybody doing? Mona. Oh, Mona, you're going to give me a big head. Thank you. Thank you. I do enjoy singing. It's been a while since I've done any singing. So yeah. And I was tackling a tough song earlier on. I was tackling Let It Go. And as you all know, that's a bit of a tough song. So yeah. I will try again. I will try again. Oh, is that Chrissy? Hi, Chrissy. Hello. Melvin says hi. Melvin says hi, Kraken. Melvin says hi. Hello, Kraken. In fact, do you think maybe Melvin wants to watch? Hey. Yes, Melvin says hi to Teddy too. Right. Where do I start? Well, let's start at the beginning, shall we? I think what I'll probably do is I will probably take some of my darker, and I'm going to use, first of all, I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to just put some on the tip, and I'm going to put this down before I drop it and get dust everywhere. And I'm actually going to just put some here where it actually is dark. Now this will actually go quite distance. And the beauty with this, with the pan pastels, is it will actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Blend, that's the word I'm looking for. It will actually blend on either the tools or on the paper. And it will layer. It layers better than I can't get words out. It layers better than the soft pastels, or so I've heard anyway. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. And I think I'll just pop in some dark in here as well, because this is needed, because it is darker there, it's darker here. There's definitely that dark area here, and there's definitely that darker area here as well. I think I might just pop in the eyebrows just at this point. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do this, other than, you know, if you are going to want some really very light areas, make sure that you're not putting the dark. Now, one way to darken this up is by adding some of the blue. And then I'm just going to go back in with the brown again. Like that. And I think what I'll then do is maybe add in just that little bit of darker here. But here as well, I think. So it's just really kind of making a start. And the lip is darker, so I think what I'll do is I'll pop on some of this underneath, because then when I go in and I take up some of the pink, it's going to be kind of sandwiched, if you like. Between the dark and at the bottom, and then the dark layer that I'm going to put on the top. That will help to give it the darker look. So there, you see? And I'm going to add some of the dark in the middle. And if you need to, get a cloth of some description and wipe the excess off. Don't be too harsh with it because you will damage the foamy bit. Oh, the art Sherpa, Cinnamon. Hello, hello, lots of love. Lots of love. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, so I think I'm going to go in with some of this sort of orangier colour. Again, it's, you know, it's kind of trying to get the light in without using white. But when you need to lighten something up, you can potentially use the yellow like so. And as you can see, it will actually blend in. So you see, you can get some really good effects just by doing that. So I'm going to kind of put this base color down. And you can see that you can really just kind of get some good strokes going on. Because it's a bit like, as I said, a paintbrush. So that's your flat. You can do the tip and you can do the full edge. Now, one thing I'm going to show you now as well is that you do not have to use necessarily the smaller tools. You can. Oh, hello, Joe. Hello, when did you sneak in? And Pencil Connoisseur. Hello. Yous have all sneaked in. Right, you can use these makeup sponges. Makeup sponges, they are so cheap and cheerful. You can get them anywhere you can get makeup sponges. And you can use them to just add in the colours where you want to add in. So you can get really big blocks of colours using makeup sponges. So there we go. And now the thing is with these is I like to put the lids back on purely because I don't want to knock them, because some of them are a bit broken up and a bit powdery. And so I really, really just do not want, and I'm just going to, while I've got the darker one out, I'm going to just put on some dark colour for her hair. And as I said, you can layer, so this isn't looking particularly dark, but it will get there. So there you go. You can see it's starting to take shape. And if I show you my hand, you can see the dust So they can be quite dusty, they can be a little bit messy, but oh, they are so much fun. I love pan pastels. Right, I've now lost my cloth, which was not very clever of me. I had one here. Okay, I'll just have to use the one that I was using for my watercolors. Right, so how's everybody doing? What's new with you guys? Hugs everyone. Have a blast playing with pastels. Tanya is so lovely at them. Hugs Mona. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Cinnamon. That's very much appreciated. Right. So, yeah. So what's new with you guy? You're talking about the bears. Let's give the attention to the bears. They're so cute. Right, I am going to I'm going to add some colour because I see the colour in here. Now this is not as a photorealistic one today. I'm really just playing around and having a load of fun. And if you really want to, you can actually go in with a rubber. I'll show you if I can find what I've done with it. So here's my eraser. And if I really need to, I can go in. So there's a bit of a highlight there. Probably better off dusting it off with a brush, but I don't have one to hand. So, you know, if you need to, if you absolutely need to, you can do that. Right. So Madonna is working right now, painting this evening some gifts for friends. Oh, nice. Joe's asking, where do I get my references from? I get my references from Unsplash. I really, really, really like Unsplash. Right, I'm going back in. I'm going to need this one as well. I'm going back in with, going to go with the blue, I think. To darken this area up. And there's also darker area here. I'm going to darken this edge here, just to differentiate it between the shadows and it's actually her hair. And I'm really going quite loose actually and quite painterly today, because that's what I'm in the mood for. Now, one of the things that I will say about the particular colours that I've got on this particular paper is that sometimes they can look a bit washed out. I'm not really quite sure just how it kind of works on this paper, but for some reason it seems to just get to a point and then not be quite so colourful, not so pigmented, and yet they're very, very pigmented. I suspect it is to do with this particular paper, because I've used it on other paper and it's not been as bad. It's been better. But I guess it is what it is, isn't it? You know, right. I think we will try a little bit of the yellow in here because it is a bit darker. Sorry, a bit lighter, should I say. Sorry, I'm having a fight with this now. Most people will take off the lids and they will keep the lids off and they will just use. I'm only putting the lids, keeping the lids, get my words out. I'm putting the lids back on, A, because I don't want to get the lids mixed up, and B, because if I knock these over, there's going to be a lot of mess, and I really don't want a lot of mess. That's maybe a bit too dark, that stroke up there, but it is what it is. So for even darker again, I can use this purpley colour. Because it's a really, really dark colour. And notice the only tool that I've really used so far has been the big makeup sponge and this one too. So let's get this lid back on before I drop it. There we go. Get that out of the way. Right, now when I'm going to do maybe more intricate stuff, what I will probably tend to do is usually pick up this one. This one has a little bit more of a point. Madonna has a question. Sorry, Madonna. So for pan pastels, you start with darks first, then build into lights. I've never used them, but they always looked interesting. To be honest, with pan pastels, you can do it either or. I think it's like anything. If you've got something dark underneath, then it's going to be a little bit difficult to get it back up to light. But I'll demonstrate. You can see that it's really dark in the corner there. So if I was to, hold on a second, I'll get this one back up. If I was to get some yellow onto here, it will actually go over the top of dark. So you can do either or. Just blend that in a little bit more, and I will pop some darker over the top. So there you go. Does that answer your question, Madonna? Ah, Mona can see again. Yay! Mona says that she would drop those and have that powder all over. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit like that myself. I've dropped them on a couple of occasions, and yeah, I've got powder everywhere. But it's good fun. It's definitely good fun. So let's see. Now that's not helpful. I'm going to use a clean one. I'm just putting some yellow in here. Just going to see how that fares. Just to add some interest. I mean, I'm not really seeing yellow necessarily on the page, but it might be interesting. Yeah, because it just adds just that little bit more color, and I think you can agree that it's starting to really kind of come to life. And I'm going to actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to add the yellow color into the eyes and see what different shades of brown I can get with the little yellows. So Madonna's saying yes and thank you. You're very welcome. So any other questions? Anybody itching to ask anything at all? I'm just going to give that a quick wipe. I'm now going to pop that in there. It's a little bit too light, but that's okay because we can muddy it up a bit. So that it dulls it down. And I think as well, I'm going to, because there's a highlighted bit there, and I think it kind of expands up there. And as you can see, the adding the white in there, well, it's not white, sorry, it is the light neutral grey, and adding that really kind of lightens it down. And I could actually do that more all over, to blend and to really get it a little bit lighter and a little bit more her skin value. And interestingly, it looks weird from that angle, looking at the camera. Oh, Chrissy needs to go to the loo. Let's tell the entire world. Tanya, you and me just got a comment on our duet from my friend Maggie. Wow, just looked for these and they're not cheap. No, they're not cheap. I bought mine individually and I bought them when they were on sale. My local shop used to sell them and they were $5.99 each, but I managed to get them for $3.59 each. So I bought a couple, then they were still there, so I bought some more, and they were still there, and I bought some more again, and that's how I built up my put my teeth back in. That's how I built up my collection. So I'm just going to add in the darker area where it looks like it would be darker with the dark colour, and then I'm going to wipe that off a little bit, and then I'm going to go in with a different colour, like so. And of course it's getting a little dodgy. There we go. Now it does, I don't know, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but it really looks weird at that angle on the camera. When I'm looking at it face on, it doesn't look half as weird. Which is a little bit strange. Now, for details, I will sometimes use this pointy bit. Well, yes, it is interesting. Right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to do some detail. That's what I was going to do. Right, so I'm going to use the blue, and sometimes I will turn it round the other way. So I can get the right angle. So it's kind of getting there. I'm also going to re-put in this dark area as well, the shadow, because it has vanished. And then what I might do is I might just go back in with this one and just blend that just a little bit, because it's a little bit out of control, I think. There we go. Right. Now, I've lost the lid. See, this is why I don't take the lids off and put them down. I found the lid. Right. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What do I want to do now? Might actually add a little bit of pink. Kind of beat a little bit of pink. So it's a little bit in your face at the moment, but if you bear with me, and I add a little bit of there we go. That then just gives it a whole different look. So it's very similar to any other medium. I like to layer with it. I like to blend. And if I need to, I will lighten it down. Get some highlights in there. And just blending that down so that it's a little bit of a lighter, but not so light that you're losing the shadows. So it's really just the same as any other type of now, one of the things that you can do, as I said, now I've got like a little sponge here, right? It's very dark. It's very, very dirty. But let me just show you something. I've got the pink, and I've put the pink on there. You can blend it on the sponge and then use it on the paper. So there's lots of different things that you can do with these pan pastels. I love them. I love them, love them, love them, love them. Whoops. Yeah, that was nearly on the floor. Right, let me just check. I'll just take a little bit of a break and check the comments to see if there's any questions. As soon as I've got the lids back on these. What brand? Brand of what? Right. I think to buy them, you have to build them up gradually. Yes, that's probably the best idea, is to build them up gradually for the pan pastels. If you want to try pastels that are not particularly expensive, it might be worth might be worth looking at Jane Davenport, because she actually has like a little palette. So it looks like a little makeup box, and there's lots of different colors in it. It's not pan pastels, but it's certainly pastels. So that might be an interesting. I don't know how they compare to pan pastels. I've not seen any reviews on that. But that might be a way to kind of at least look as if look as to whether or not you actually want to try the pastels. The other suggestion that I would make, and I've just totally had a different thought, and I'm sorry, I've totally got distracted with, oh, that needs a bit of pink. So anyway, that's that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, if you maybe want to try pastels, you could try the Jane Davenport ones, because it's essentially looks like a makeup set. So it looks like eyeshadows, and you've got all the different colors. I don't know how expensive they are, because I haven't really looked myself for them, but that might be an option to try. The other thing is they're not pan pastels, but maybe try start off with the soft pastels. You can pick up a box of these a little bit cheaper. They don't layer, and you can't really do the same things as I'm doing. Well, they do layer, but not the same as pan pastels are far superior to these in terms of layering, or so I've read. And I do find that they do layer better, the pan pastels, than these. However, these still layer too. They do still layer, and they're still. You can use these with the pan pastels. Not a problem. Not a problem at all or whatsoever. Right, so I really need to get reading these. Right. Now, who's fighting? Gail says that cost-wise, Jane's aren't really any cheaper. Okay, fair enough. Are they dusty? Are what dusty? The pan pastels, or do you mean the soft pastels? Yes, the soft pastels can be dusty as well. I have done an ATC video using these pastels. These are, I can't get the thing off when I see. I'm trying to get this little. There we go. I've got it. So these pastels, these are absolutely fabulous. In fact, that is a dark, and you can see the difference. They're not like the pan pastels at all, but that's not to say that they cannot be used. Yes, and I know I'm being naughty. I'm using my finger, but I don't care. Apparently, it's got something to do with the oils in our fingers. That so there. That gives you an idea of what the pastels and all over the fingers. Whereas with the pan pastels, although you're getting a little bit dirty, well, mind you, that's probably because I was doing that, wasn't it? So there we go. That's them blended in. So it gives you an idea of what the pastels can do. Let's just pop these down and away. The pan pastels, are they dusty? Um, they can be dusty in these. And you will still get the odd droppage. But I personally think they're a little less dusty to use, because when you're actually using the tools and things to put them on, you're right. When you saw me use the soft pastels, I was doing it directly on, so you could see the sort of flakes of dust coming off of the actual block, whereas the dust is contained within that tool, so in the sponge, so it's less dusty. Does that make sense? They would also react differently to type of paper. Yes, they do react differently to types of paper. I have actually, let me I've just been distracted by the fact that, oh come on, there we go. The girl is there. I don't have a big clip mark now. Right. I forgot what I was saying. I'm so sorry. Is it dangerous, the dust? Um, I don't think it gets dusty enough that you're actually breathing it in, Chrissy, unless you're really, really going for it. I certainly, I've not read anything that would suggest that it is dangerous. Right. So back to the picture. Right. I'm going to use the pointy bit. I love the soft tools, however, they sure wear out fast. Yes, they do. They do wear out fast, and that's because when you're using them, you're using them on paper that's rough, because it needs to be that type of paper for the pastels to actually stick to. So that's better. When you're then rubbing, it does make a difference, if that makes sense. Right. I'm actually just popping the tip on because I want to get, and you can see the dust is coming off the tip. Whereas it's not as dusty when I've got it actually flat. If that makes sense. So I'm just trying to get in the dark crease. And it's not particularly fine line. I'm probably rushing this a little bit. I can usually get finer. If you're really careful, you can actually get quite a decent line. And this is the eyelash area. So this is actually darker. So that's it with the brown. But I'm going to go in with the sort of blue to kind of make it a little bit blacker. Right. Right, just checking. I've answered the question about the different papers. Right, Joe, did I not answer your question? Did I go off on a tangent? I thought I had answered your question. Please remind me of your question. If I haven't answered it correctly, please remind me of it, and I will answer. Chris is saying they give a nice soft look like oils, don't they? Yes, they do. I really like pan pastels. Really like pan pastels. You can probably tell because I've said it quite a bit. So I'm going in with the blue, because if you've watched me enough times, you will know that I will mix my ultramarine blue and my burnt umber to get a black. And it's the same with the pastels. I just happen to add it on the paper rather than on a mixing palette. Right, so I've got that part. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this one because I haven't used it before. It's clean. And again, I'm going to turn it round, and that will allow me to get that little highlight here. Now, you've probably seen and you've probably noticed that it's a little bit higher than in the reference photo, but do you know, I don't think a blind man running for the bus is going to notice, and it's really down to the fact that it's really difficult to actually get the lines in the right place. I would need to get out my pencils, which I'm reluctant to do because I'm actually enjoying doing it this way. So I'm just going to take out some of the line by adding that darkness. And our face is a little bit darker than it is in the photo, but you know, it is what it is. Right, I am going to add just a little bit more of the pink in here because I like it. really giving a good colour. I think I'll try some of the yellow to lighten that. So I'm blending it actually on the paper. Because although it's dark in there, there's an element of light there. I think it's getting there. And I think I'll go back to, oops, this one here, and I'm going to use some of the grey just again as more of a shadow rather than excuse me than anything else. Oh, excuse me, got the hiccups now. There we go. Because I think this bit here is not quite right because it's a bit too, her face is too wide. So I'm just adjusting that. Chrissy says, my portrait won't have detail like that. Very loose, I'd say. Nothing wrong with a little bit of a loose painting. Absolutely nothing wrong. I like loose paintings. Right, I think I'm needing the dark purple. Right, so let's define the side of this face again. There we go. Now this one's very dusty because when I bought it, it was all broken, and so that's why. There we go. I think we're nearly there. Don't think there's really much else to do. Maybe we'll pop on some highlights now. So there we go. I might get the actual white pastel out, but I don't know, I think that might actually do it. I think we're almost there. Almost there. We go back to this one. Right. I think maybe I'm not so happy with the edge of this. I think it's lacking something in terms of the actual lip. I think I'm needing to do something about the lip. So I'm going to darken this up here, which I think it's needing. And then put the edge back in again, which again I think it's needing. And there's that darkness there. There. I think that's a little bit better. And I'm thinking the grey to just put in. Nope, that's not really dark enough. So we'll go back to the kind of burnt. Nope, that's still not dark enough. That's still too light. We'll try the there we go, and the blue along the edge of the lip, just to really try and hit that home, that part there is much darker. No, that's not working. Right. Try a little bit more pink in there to I may actually, what will I do? I may just take a break and go back to it. Let's see what your questions are. So Gail is saying, this is great. I'm amazed how fast you can create something like this. I'd fuss with it for hours and hours, I'm sure. It comes with practice. It really does just come with practice. I used to fuss all the time, but not so much anymore. There, that's a little bit better. Right. There. going to go back in with the brown, I think. Right, I think what's happening is as I've been going in and doing all this, it's kind of creeping down. So I am going to, oh, sorry, I'm going to knock the camera, obviously. I am actually going to take some of that colour off. And I'm going to try again. Right, the pointy tool. Yeah, that's a little better. There we go. That's better. And then again, just really reinforcing that dark area down there. And I'm going to pop the lid back on this one before it falls. And believe you me, this one has fallen. I think going to give a little highlight there. I know it's not on the photo, but I think I'll maybe just do some highlights there just to there we go. I'm going to call that done. I might just add a little bit more darkness to the neck, and I think that should be it. So I'll go back to this one. Because I think it needs to be done. There we go. I know it's a little bit too dark, but I'm going to lighten it up with a little bit of the yellow, like so. And that's it. I'm calling it done. I think I might just increase that highlight just a little bit. With the yellow, and then I'll shove a little bit more of the white, which is lightening it up again. Here. A little bit of the pink because I've made that just a little bit too. There we go. That's better. That's it. Calling it done. Look at the state of my hands. Just as well I've got some baby wipes here. And I've managed to successfully do it without the door going, which is fantastic. No, don't be sorry about the shouting. So, are they basically crushed pastels with something added? I wouldn't have described them as that. I think that they have been specifically designed to be what they are. Because if you actually read up on what they were designed for, they were designed to be much more pigmented. They were designed to be much more layerable, etc., etc. But I guess you could potentially say that that's what they are. But I think the manufacturers would say they're not crushed up pastels. And Mona's just copy and pasted something, I think. Pan pastel colours are made using a unique manufacturing process requiring minimal blender and fillers, resulting in a rich, ultra soft, low dust formulation. There you go, you see? Exactly everything that I've been kind of sort of saying about them. Right. Would you like me to... No, I think what I'll do is I'll put the camera back where it's supposed to be, and then I will lift up the portrait to the camera. Right, I'm going to put my hand over the camera so you don't get dizzy. Ta-da! Hello, 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 hello. Oh, I have just managed to knock my mic. Hold on. Right. Okay. So somehow that, there we go, that's better. You can see the mic now. There we go. So, right, let's pick this up and show it. In fact, you know, I just realized that it's getting a bit darker in here. Let me put the other light on. There we go. That's better. So, there we have it. That is the portrait. Oh, maybe I should put it next to the portrait that we did with watercolor. Right. there is the portrait that I did in the last live, and there is the pastel. So it gives you a comparison. That's the watercolor pastel. That's pan pastel. And when I get a chance to, I will be spraying this with a fixative. But I do like to do it outside rather than indoors. So there we go. Yeah, that'll be that. Oh, I must show you something. Look, it's even blue. I don't go for your just ordinary everyday stuff. Oh, who turned off the lights? Yeah, no, I know. It gets a little like that. So any questions? Any subjects you want me to talk about? Anything that you want me to kind of sort of clarify? Okay. Right, sorry, Chrissy, I must have misunderstood you. Right. Okay, let's have a look. I'm just on the Pan Pastel site. So special qualities of pan pastel colors means that the artist can blend and apply color dry, like fluid paint, for the first time. Pans contains 9 mils of color, 40% more material than the average pastel stick. It yields at least 4 to 5 times more coverage than sticks. And the average is based on a survey of leading brands. And that's pretty much all it really says. So the pan format protects the colors, keeping them separate and clean in the studio when transporting them. Doesn't really say what the actual ingredients are. So it sounds like it might actually be the same ingredients, just in a different manufacturing process. So perhaps they're requiring more binder and fillers in the actual stick than in the pan. So I wonder if that's helpful, Chrissy. It says that it uses less binder than the traditional sticks. Gail is saying, by the way, I've been meaning to tell you I like the colour of your wall. Thank you very much. I love the colour that I have my studio at the moment. And Chrissy is saying that she does like the effect that they give for sure. Mona saying love the mic. I've had this mic for quite some time. I tend to use it for voiceovers, but because up until now I didn't actually have a mic stand, so I had no way of actually getting the mic up to here. Otherwise, I'd be down here all the time because I've only got a little table stand for the mic. So this is really good to know that I can actually use this mic for live sessions. So there we go. I keep saying that, so there we go. I must come up with a different words to use. All right, I'm just popping away a couple of things before I lose them. Do you guys like my pencil case? So I've got my polychromos pencils in here. There's my watercolors, there's my watercolor brushes, there's my fountain pen. And I even managed to keep a little bit of a rag in here. Ta-da! That cute. I like that. And I never got out my pastel pencils. I could have got out my pastel pencils to do a bit more of the details, but I was really wanting to show just exactly what the pastels and the tools can actually do. So hello, Michael Ann. Hello. How are you this evening? Or I shouldn't say this evening. How are you this afternoon? In fact, it will be just after lunchtime for you guys, won't it? Because it's 20 minutes to 5 now for me. So I'm, 6 hours ahead of you. So what would be about 12, 1 for most of you? I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed that. No, that's absolutely fine. We're just finishing off Mona. So thank you so much for coming, and I will go and listen to our duet. And I will speak to you later. Enjoy your tea. So it's morning where you are. Right, okay, Michael Ann. That's quite a big difference in time, isn't it? That's a big difference in time. Yes, what I was going to say is that I am going to go live again next Friday, probably around about the same time. My plan for next Friday is to do because it's been requested. It's been requested a number of times by different people, the palette knife portrait that I did. There was a lot of people really enjoyed that, and they've actually attempted their own palette knife. In fact, Mona, actually, have you guys seen Mona's palette knife portrait? Because it's pretty awesome that she's given it a go. Mona doesn't like to do anything that she's very much a sock folder. She will say herself she's a sock folder. And I'm just trying to find Mona's portrait for you guys so I can put the link in. Oh, it's not in my history. Oh, there it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's in the history. Yay. Copy and paste. Right. For anybody who hasn't, because I know that most of you probably have, for anybody who hasn't, there is the link for Mona's palette knife. Mona has said on numerous occasions in the chat, and a few other people have said the same, that they would love to be able to learn to paint a bit looser. I would also like to kind of point you in the direction of Chrissy, because Chrissy is actually doing her live later on tonight. and her live is a much looser way of painting as well. And next week, I am going to do another loose portrait using brushes this time, and not just the palette knife. So I'm going to be showing you a little bit more about how to actually hold the brush and things for painting a much more freer, painterly, looser, you know. And what I want you guys to do is I would love for you to come and join me, and I would love for you to actually paint along with me. So I'm going to go slow enough. It's not going to be like an Art Sherpa tutorial. It's not going to be like that at all. I am going to go very slow and even stop and pause and let you guys actually catch up. So anybody who wants to actually do a painting next Friday with me, please come along. I will do the portrait. I will have it sitting as a scheduled. And for those of you who can't actually join the live, when it's actually going out live, please come back and know that when it's the replay, that's what I'm doing. So I will make sure that I put in all the different colors and things that I'm going to be using, and I will take you step by step. And I warn you, I'm going to take you out your comfort zone. We are not going to care what it looks like at the end, right? That's the deal, right? Mona, why are you still here? Go and get your tea. I'm only kidding, Mona. Well, I'm not kidding, because obviously go and get your tea, but that's what I plan to do for next Friday's live session. I want you guys to paint along with me, and I am going to be getting you out of your comfort zone. We are not going to get all intricate in detail, and I'm not showing you how to do a realistic portrait. It is going to be right, are you painting along with me? Are you sure? You know, don't change that brush stroke. That's the kind of thing that we will be doing. Yes, we will be getting down and dirty live raw painting. Abso-friggin-lutely. That's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to go with the process. And if the process produces something that we're not happy with, fine. That's what it is. I am going to encourage you to produce something that you're not happy with. Does that make sense? And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want you to learn that it's just a bit of paper. And if it turns out better than you anticipated, that is an added bonus. So if you want to get the most out of next week's live, come and join me, have your paints ready, have your brushes ready, and be prepared to be out of your comfort zone. Be prepared to stand back. Be prepared, and I'll show you. Be prepared to be holding your brushes back here. Okay? We are going to get out of our comfort zone next week. Does that sound good? It looks like I'm getting a lot of sounds great, sounds good, good. I need to be out of my comfort zone. Fantastic. Madonna says, sounds like fun. I'll be working, but we'll watch the replay and try and be a loosey-goosey with painting. Totally out of my comfort zone. That's the idea, Madonna. Yay! That is the idea. We are going to have a lesson on not giving a hoot. I think that's what we all need. We need to have a lesson on let's not give a stuff. Anything else? Is there any other questions, any other comments, anything that you want me to show you before I say bye-bye? Because I'm going to go and get something to eat. And then we will all be joining Chrissy, aren't we? We're all going to be joining Chrissy in her live, uh, uh, not giving a Melvin. Not giving a Melvin. Ah, ah, ah. Um, yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, I was going to totally distracted me there, Chrissy. You totally distracted me there. Right. So, for those of you who don't already know, I've already just said it. Chrissy is going live later on tonight. Well, tonight for us because we're both in the UK. So in 3 hours, Chrissy is going to be going live, and she is going to be doing her loose portrait. And I've seen the thumbnail, and there's a link for the video. It looks like it'll be awesome. So let's all share the love with Chrissy, and let's join her in 3 hours' time. So there we go. Tanya making me. I'm making you do what? Oh dear, you guys are awesome. I love you guys to bits. I really always appreciate. I have always have such a laugh. I know you're just kidding, Chrissy. I always have such a laugh, and I really appreciate all your comments. I know I'm so sorry. I'm not very good at catching them sometimes. But if you consider that I'm here doing my work, and that's the distance that the screen is away. We're talking, I'm it's quite a stretch to even touch the screen. And when I have my glasses on, if I'm too far back from something, it makes it hazy. And if I take my glasses off, I can't see anyway, um, because the writing's too small. I'm long sighted, so if I'm far enough back from something, I can see. But the problem is that when I'm far enough back to see, so in focus, so I'm in focus, I can see me, but the wording is too small. And if I put my glasses on, I'm too far back for my glasses to actually work. So it's a little bit blurry. So I have to keep going a little bit closer to be able to read. So that's essentially it. That's why I sometimes miss the comments. So sorry, guys. Right, I am going to head off now. I'm going to go and get something to eat so that I can watch Chrissy later on. I'm also going to wash my hands again, even though I use the baby wipes. My hands they're still it's all up in my nails and everything. So yeah. I have just had a ball. So as I always say, don't forget to look after your mental well-being, because only you can. Take care, everybody. Lots of creative sparkles. Bye for now.